All right. Well, since I did the teams, I'm probably gonna go in depth about the players for Worlds 2025. It's only been a week since the World Finals has started, so yeah. And so the tiers we have are S, Godly Clutch, like Faker, like I can't put Faker anything above below S. Amazing. Let's see, Peanut. Peanut played really well. B I'd say BDD was that, yeah, too. Yeah, like those players. Good and bad. They played like that's actually pretty hard, but it's B tier, so anything below amazing, but it's also anything above like middle of the pack. So C tier, middle of the pack, as long as you're better than Get Out. Get Out, yeah, I don't even know who's gonna be in here. These two, Get Out. Oh my gosh. Okay, and not applicable. There's only I think one player that applies to this, but we'll get there when we get there. So let's start from the top to the bottom with the LCK teams. All right. So the first player we have is Keen. I feel like Keen had a fine tournament. It wasn't anything amazing because we saw how he played at MSI. Him at MSI and him at Worlds is completely different. Canyon had a fine game. He wasn't really anywhere. I feel like actually every player on Genji played average. Swiss stage, they got through pretty easily. It was just one loss against I think it was AL. So that's really unlucky. Um, but yeah, just one loss against and yeah. Quarterfinals. Um, I don't. Quarterfinals is weird because they all played pretty well, but but no, it's good and bad. I would say good and bad. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm already like 2 minutes in, but I'd say they played good and bad. If you guys have anything about how well they played, put it in the comments because my memory is a little rusty for this. It's just off my memory. Homo Life, Zeus, he played fine. Um, Peanut, I think, had an amazing tournament. It was his last dance too, or last tournament. And now he's gonna go play the military. So, and that the game, even though they didn't get far, the game with Homo Life and Genji, they played actually really well. I feel like Zeus, Peanut, Viper, and Delight played well. Now Zeka, please get out, dude. I don't want to be that harsh. Maybe he played average, but when he played on anything that's not an assassin, he was actually getting diff so hard. But him on assassins, that's like he was on amazing. But I can't put him amazing since he can't play mages. Viper, I also think had an amazing tournament. Every time I watch Viper, he's never really underperforming. It's just that his teammates are letting him down. And Delight, I feel like had good and bad. What an amazing tournament. But there's some. It's unlucky being in a gauge because you would get like docked the most. But I think he had a fine tournament. Now we're gonna get to T1. You know, everyone knows I'm a Doran hater, but instead of putting him in Get Out, I'm gonna say he had an average tournament. This is average Doran. I feel like he didn't really play all that good. Um, his he did his job on tanks. He did find some angles, so I think that's good and bad. So I'll put him in good and bad. I don't like Doran. I don't believe he should have had that world champion since of prior years. Agree with me or disagree, but that's just my opinion. But I think he had a good and bad tournament. This is really generous for me. Owner, he was sick, so I think he had an amazing tournament, regardless of his sickness. So I feel like he had a good tournament. Faker, S tier, get in there, get in the goat, the 6-time world champion. Let's go. All right. Gumayushi, I also feel like he had a godly clutch tournament. As an AD carry, it is so hard to have an impact on the game if you're just picked out. But this guy on Ashe, Sivir, maybe not Sivir, maybe not Yunara because he got kind of destroyed against Amundo. But that's Amundo. But yeah, he played really well. Carry, I think he had a pretty amazing tournament. I wouldn't say godly, but if Carrier is getting 4 of the 5 bans before the match even started, you know he's having a great impact on the map. Plus his Poppy is so good. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna put in Godly Clutch because I still remember that Poppy where I think it was AL or it was no it was KT. Against KT, they banned 4 of the 5 champions and they let they left Poppy open. Then Carria, I think first or second Drake, um, flashed, ER'd, and took out Cuz. That was insane. Um, Now for KT. I think KT had a very good tournament. Perfect. I was really impressed with Perfect. He in the LCK he wasn't really that good, but watching him at Worlds it was pretty amazing. His Rek'Sai was amazing. His Rek'Sai and Rumble were actually amazing. If you guys see his Rek'Sai and Rumble, it is actually one of the best things I've seen. Best Rumbles I've seen for this tournament, and best Rek'Sai, besides Flandre. Cuz, so I'm gonna put Cuz with BDD with the amazing tier, because they work so well as a duo, and I would say combining them as like a one ranking makes sense. Doc Dom, I feel like he had a very average tournament. I watched Doc Dom back in Worlds 2022, and he was considered an Aphelios merchant, and he was. So, and he didn't really play that all that well. I feel kind of bad for him, but I think he played average. He's not in the get out tier, so yeah. Peter, amazing tournament. I feel like Doc Dom played like Hope. I don't know what it is, but they just both play the same. But Peter, this guy is amazing. I'm honestly a KT fan, or more or less like a. I am a KT fan now. After like them showing me how like the fourth best LCK team can make it to finals, like that's kind of amazing. Beating Gen G, beating CFO, and nearly beating T1, that's kind of amazing. But I feel like all four of these guys had an amazing tournament. Peter especially, this guy's like a rookie, I think, or no, not rookie. I forgot. Was he a rookie? I forgot. They're pretty young, so I wouldn't know. Actually, let me change this. Let's say we had a good and bad. We're changing that. Yeah. All right, we're changing. Let's go. All right. Now, a pretty bad. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. Good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I like this. All right. Now, Bin, I feel like he had a bad tournament. He got diffed by Dokla. I have nothing else to say. Dokla's pretty good though. I like Dokla, but he got diffed by Dokla. He got diffed by Dokla and Broken Blade. Wait, he got solo killed. He got solo killed by Broken Blade and Dokla. What? That's okay. Yeah, you go. Get out, bro. Knight, he had a pretty underwhelming tournament, but that's because five of his teammates were running it down. It was making it a 1v9 situation. I'll say I'll give it to good for pity points because I feel so bad because it was a 1v9 basically. Elk, bad on bad. Actually, I feel like they played fine. If I'm not wrong, I don't remember anything bad about them. Yeah, I'd say they both played good. So, but they couldn't do anything to help stop the jungler and Bin from inting. But it's unlucky. Now for the second seed. I think the second seed is the second. I actually don't know. Third, second seed. 369. I feel like he had an amazing tournament. Same with Knight. His teammates were holding him back. I think he had one bad game. Besides that, I think he played pretty fine. Kanavi. I would give it amazing until they played against C1. Like that was awful. Oh my god. I don't know. They had like such fluctuating gameplay, like games where they were destroying and then they were getting destroyed. Because, let's see. Top, they dominated. Of course, they dominated these two, but they lost to KT and Genji, barely beat BLG, and then they got dismantled by T1. I think he had a pretty bad tournament, Kanavi. Especially that Kiana game. I still can't get the Kiana game out of my face. Cream, he did pretty fine. Especially against G2. He kind of stopped Caps from getting any major advantage with the help of Kanavi. And it sucks they lost to KT and Genji, so that's really unlucky. But I think he had a fine tournament, so I'll put him good. Now Jackie Love, get out. That's what I would have said if Jackie Love didn't go deathless against G2. I'd say he had a really great tournament against G2. Against everyone else, I think he played mediocre. He kept on doing the Jackie Love thing where he'd continue inting. That is really that's really bad actually, because all the advantages that top esports got, it would all be ruined once Jackie Love died. I remember when he was walking up mid. I think it was against. He was walking up mid against KT, all alone with no one around, and he got like killed. And then they started Baron or Dragon, and then the game just skyrocketed from there. That was a pretty bad tournament by him. Hong, get out. I don't know. I think they need to drop Hong next year. I feel like this guy is not working. I feel like Chris would have been a better support before they made the swap. It's really unlucky, but I I didn't really see Hong didn't really do anything this tournament. Like so it wasn't even bad. I just feel like also it's just because of the T1 game that I'm putting all these guys so low because of the performance they gave. I'm pretty sick too, so I'm sorry. But um now for Flandre, I feel like he had an amazing tournament. Um he was the clutch factor to he was actually the clutch factor to AL. Let's see there. Okay, so they beat Hama, they beat Genji, and they beat CFO. These were pretty convincing wins. If I'm not wrong, Flandre played Rek'Sai. I'm actually I've been watching Flandre since 2021 where they won Worlds, and this is actually a really good. So Rek'Sai, Kled, and Bessa, Rek'Sai. Yeah, he was one of the best Rek'Sais at this tournament. It's really this was so unlucky. Game one was so unlucky with them because it was all going so good until it went downhill. His Aurora was really good. His Bessa was good. Um, his last game on Aatrox was really unlucky because the way that T1 was positioned against him, I still remember it was fourth or third Drake. They were around red buff on blue side, and he TP'd in or he walked up, and then he got jumped. He had a blow ult, and I think anyone else would have died there, but Flandre played it super well, and then they kept on chasing to red side, and then Flandre TP'd back in, and then everything just that was such a good game. So I think Flandre had a godly clutch tournament. Even though they didn't win, this is kind of biased for me to say, but I feel like they had a good tournament. Tarzan, I feel like he had a good tournament. I definitely can remember some plays, but I can't remember them off my top of my head. Now there's some controversy with Shanks. How many people do I have left? Oh my gosh. Oh, and I'm only 12 minutes in. Okay. There's some controversy with Shanks and stuff, but the tournament he gave, um I think he played pretty fine actually. Um, yeah, these score lines are pretty good. The LeBlanc game was unlucky. He could not do any damage that game. But yeah, against CFO, Genji, Hanwha, they played really well. So I'll give Shanks an amazing game. Hope, I think he had a bad tournament. Same with Doc Dom. He never really won his lane, if I'm not wrong. Where is it? Where's the main teams? But Doc Dom never really, not Doc Dom. Hope never really won his lane. It was all. Oh, that's weird. Oop. Okay. I can't see his stats. They're But trust me, I think he had a very bad tournament, especially against T1. So if AL had any other AD carry, I feel like they would have easily made it to finals against KT, and probably even won it. But since they had Hope, I feel like he was a really underlying factor to why AL lost. It's so unlucky. He was playing. It was his off day. Kale played good. I still remember him playing Poppy, and I think it was Ruler or Viper playing Kaisa, and he blocked their Kaisa ult, and then he hit a 3-man or 2-man knockup with Poppy. That was actually amazing. Now I won't be rating the IG that harshly because they've only played one game. I can't really yeah, I can't really dock them on games that even though they didn't make it to Worlds, they only played one series. And the series was quite fine. Um, okay, the Shy, I'm a biased the Shy fan, and I want to say good, but I have to put in the bad. He found some plays in game two, and game three, and game four, but in game one, that ints at mid lane turret on Gumayushi sold them the game so hard where it could have gone to Silver Scrapes or they could have won the game. But I think he played quite fine. If I'm not wrong, his Varus pick was doing a lot, and once he got Sonya's, I feel like the game could have spiraled out of control for IG to make it 5 games. But besides that, I feel like he had a bad tournament. I wanted to give him a good tournament, but I was unlucky. Now Wei had a good tournament. Those games, it was not his fault. It was kind of the Shy's fault. But his Kiana game, I still remember it. And it was only a month ago. That game, I would give Wei a good tournament. I think he would have gone to amazing if he made it to Worlds. Rookie had an amazing tournament. Amazing tournaments, quote unquote, where it's one a game. But it was amazing. This is not the Rookie we've seen in the regular season. This is a different Rookie. This is 2018 Rookie. For Rookie to be able to match Faker, I don't know what it is. He's able to match Faker. This guy was not able to match Knight or even Care. FPX Care, if I'm not wrong. He could not match him. Like, it's actually insane how the skill of him playing against Faker is so good, but then Shy entered him. So, but he had an amazing tournament. Was he on Syndra? Hold up. Sorry, the sickness. My throat's just really dry. Where is it? But yeah, okay. So his Orianna game was amazing. His Rise game was amazing, and his Hui game. He only got it's his team. It was his team. The reason they lost was because of his team. If Hui, he was so fed. He had like I think Darkseer or Magi stacks. I'm glazing Rookie. I've never glazed Rookie. I've always hated Rookie. But let me tell you, his performance was amazing. So I'll give him that. Gala, he played good. It's kind of the same with the Viper. Gala always plays good, same as Viper. There's never a time where they underperform. Mako, yeah, he had an average tournament. It was pretty bad. He couldn't. Actually, no, he had a good. Because it took him a while to start up, but in the last game, in game 4, he stepped up on Nautilus. So unlucky that they lost, but it was a pretty good tournament for them. I think the only underlying factor that caused them to lose, maybe it's get out. I don't know. I'm biased. I'm putting him bad. Mako played fine. He did what he could, and he was against Keria. He's one of the masterminds, the best supports in the game. And him playing against Keria and playing fine and taking a game off them, I would say that's pretty good. Gala played super amazing, but especially in game 2, the game they won on Caitlyn, he had to play so perfect or T1 would win. If Faker was on their back all the time, if Faker killed Gala, the game was over. But Gala played so well. Okay, that's enough IG glazing. So, CFO, these guys surprised me. Rest definitely had a worse performance as driver, but what was it? Rest actually played really well against FlyQuest. Saying that FlyQuest was pretty bad, but I'd say he had a good tournament against FlyQuest, and in the games he played. It was pretty fine. Driver, good tournament. Junjia, I would say it's a good tournament if we're not counting the quarterfinals. But the quarterfinals, him and Honkyu got diffed so hard that it was really unlucky for them. Doggo, I feel like he had an amazing tournament. Now that was until they played KT, but I feel like he had a good tournament. Kaiwing, a little mediocre. The way he played, where is it? Flying Oysters. The way, yeah. Let's see these picks. So, I wasn't really impressed with any of his champions this tournament. Yeah, I wasn't really impressed. Maybe the Alistar, but I wasn't really impressed with Kaiwing. I've always seen Kaiwing as like kind of a liability, not someone who can make plays in clutch. So I'll keep him bad. PSG. Oh, I'd give everyone bad besides Karsa. So these guys weren't supposed to make worlds, so my ranking is gonna be a little bit lenient. But Karsa showed that he still is that GOAT. He still has it in him. He still has the Flash Worlds in him. 2018 MSI champion, he still got it in him. Everyone else, they showed mediocre. I mean, they weren't supposed to make it, and I think they had sicknesses from the video they sent out that they could not. So they were playing bad, but I think it's unlucky that they lost. But yeah, they played a really good tournament for being like third seed, not making worlds, where Gam should have made it. Okay, Team Secret, they showed their team. They showed what they play. They showed what kind of League of Legends they play. Hero and Punt, I feel like they played fine. Shoot, Hero and Punt, I forgot. They both played one of. I forgot which one, but I believe both of them played pretty fine. Also against Vivo Kid though. So let's see. Team Secret. I forgot what top laner played, but I'd say good. They. Oh shoot, who played against Team Secret? Who played against Vivo Kid? Depending on who Vivo Kid, I'll put one up. This is Hero. This is Pun. Okay, Pun, you're going bad. Actually, okay, I'll say you played good. You played good against Omkar. Oh, he played a really bad tournament. Oh. Okay, you know what? Okay. I can't really dock them points, but for the VCS characters, no one expects a VCS to, beat the major regions, so I'll go linear on them. Histo made some mistakes, but played a good tournament regardless. Dyer made a lot of mistakes, but I'd say he made a good tournament. Eddie, I'll just put all of them in. I'll just put them all in here because they didn't really make it far, but they also showed what kind of League of Legends they played. They played team fighting. They played fighting. They played fight. They want to fight. They fight. That's all they do. So that's how they play. FlyQuest. I feel like all of FlyQuest played really. Okay, this is where the one exception is. He never played a single game, so I can't count him in. The GOAT. Hold up. Got goes the GOATs. So unlucky. I really wish Gakgos could play. I don't understand why they have 6-man roster if they're not going to play like how CFO do. Okay. Inspired, played amazing. It was 1v9. Same with Knight. It's the same thing. He had to carry so hard, even in the end. He was making all the plays. I've heard that he was a little toxic, but he was making all the plays that could have made a bad tournament of Quad. It's the same thing as last year. Quad plays so well in the LCS, but at Worlds or any international, it just underperforms. Especially against MSI, against G2. Even though they 3-0'd, that was I don't understand what was happening. Quad was underperforming so bad. Masu, he played pretty bad. Busio, I think he also had a bad tournament. I don't like. Also, I gotta ask the coaching staff: why would you give T1 Bard? What is going through your guys' mind to give carry the character Bard, the person who's known for Bard? Like what? But yeah, I think they all underperformed. Caps clutcher against them, but I think they all deserve bad. Besides Inspired, who's amazing. Now for 100 Thieves. Dokla, amazing tournament. If you want to ask me why, never dive this guy. Never dive this guy. I think they all played really well. Sniper, Sniper's also there. But River, amazing tournament. Quid, pretty good tournament. FBI, good tournament. Ayla, good tournament. I feel like they played amazing for what because they were the third seed. They were not even supposed to be here. They were last place. Dokla, big dokes. I think amazing. River, okay, maybe I'm being a little biased here. I actually need to research them and their games to see how they played. Now, Dokla, I can definitely say amazing, but let's see how this goes. Okay, match history. Let's see. River had the plays. He definitely had the play. Oh, I remember now. Oh my god, against Homo Life, that draft was horrible. That was a draft if. So I can't dock them points on that because they literally got the worst draft in the game. Against Top, that was a stomp. Never mind. Okay. T1, pretty good. Okay, so besides Homo Life and Top Esports, I feel like they played a pretty good tournament. River played good. He might go to. I think he's going to military service, right? Quid. He played. Let's see, Quid. Yeah, he tried his best. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. He was. Yeah. Okay. Ayla. I think he had a very underperforming tournament. But that's because they were playing against all the best teams. So I think they all played good. I think they all played good. So yeah, good, good, good. They should be proud of that. They played against all the Eastern teams and they beat one, or they made it and they could have beaten two. But yeah, that's amazing. Boal, I think these guys also had a good tournament. No one everyone thinks the CB Lowell is pretty weak, even though they got one win. It was against PSG, and although they all played bad, that was pretty good by them. And also they played really well against BOG. Boal, I don't know what it is with Bin and Beichuan and Shadow diving people, but these guys, this guy outplayed a 2v1. Props to him. Desamis played pretty good. Miru, sorry if I'm pronouncing these right, but Miru, yeah, played a great tournament. He played great against Knight. Morpheus, he's young. He played pretty good. And Trimby, oh man, you don't gotta remind me of Trimby, dude. This guy's Alistar. He can Alistar me right now. Oh, he can Alistar WQ me. Pause. But yeah, I feel like they played it pretty well. Okay, we're at 26 minutes. We're nearly done. Last three teams. All right. G2. G2. I feel like Skumon, Caps, and Hansama played a really good tournament. Caps, I have to say he played an amazing tournament. For most of their wins, I feel like they wouldn't have won without him, especially against FlyQuest. Caps is Orianna. He always finds an angle. Even on Orianna Shockwave on the 3 people against FlyQuest, and Orianna Shockwave against 4 people on top esports. I remember that. But the draft was pretty lost, but that was amazing. So I'm giving Caps amazing. Broken Blade, I feel like he played pretty mediocre. Sorry to say this, but Labrov and him played pretty bad. Labrov against top esports, I definitely know that the pressure was getting to him. They got him a Thresh pick, and I hated that pick, but for him to pull out and give that calm about going Thresh, I respect that. Even though he played a pretty bad tournament, I hope they keep Labrov on G2. He has time to learn. Same with Skumon. And Broken Blade, I feel like he has had a weak tournament overall. He did solo kill Bin. That's about all. But he also tanked for G2 against Fly, but that's about all I can remember. Okay, these guys are all in here. I don't really want to explain why, but I guess I have to. If you guys watch my other video, these guys are international chokers. I don't know what it is, but against K-Corp, they did not play this bad. Against who they played against? BOG. They played against the weak BOG, and they still lost them. I know I can't talk because I'm not a player, but for them to not, they played fine. They got one game off of MKOI, but that's because it's MKOI. Like, at least MKOI showed signs of life by winning, but like against the weakened BOG, I think the weakened BOG is the only one I remember. I think CFO one was a stomp, but like they have to. I don't understand why they underperform at internationals. They just don't play like how they play in the LCEC. Is it the pressure? Poby played fine. I feel like I can't put him at good because his team was weighing him down, and I couldn't see more of him. If I got to see more of him, I'd probably put him good because he was playing a really fine tournament. He wasn't really pressured. Now for the last team, these guys gave me hope. These guys gave me hope. Mirwin, I feel like he played a really bad tournament. Aoyoya and Jojo played a really good tournament. I think Mirwin, yeah, he played a really weak tournament. Let me pull up the stats. It's the last team, so. Let's see. Where is it? Merwin. But yeah, I just don't see him as comfortable with the champions he's playing. I'm more used to like, you know, the the Varus top or the Nidalee top. So I think he's just not used to these champions still. So, but his Cassante was fine. So I'd say he played a really fine tournament. So I'll put him up to good. Supa, I feel like they had a good tournament. Um, they showed against Fnatic, even though it was a team kill. They showed against KT actually. Before they threw the game. Yeah, so they all played pretty fine, especially JoJo. I feel like JoJo played really good. He played amazing until he had to play against Faker. I don't know. Once he played against Faker, this guy was like fell to the ground. I started win trading. But yeah, this is my list. Um, Order doesn't really matter. I feel like this is just how they play it as in general. So yeah, I'll probably be doing more videos like this, and I'll probably be covering the LCS when it starts. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.